recording, and then, yep. Do you have any questions before we begin here?
Not really. Just kind of keep doing what you've been doing.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. Same as usual. Be a minute or so, and we're looking for something to talk about.
I've got you. Enemies coming right for us.
And then last time we only ever went over like 10 minutes of McCree, yeah, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Damage.
Right, so in that instance right there, just remembering that rolling reloads your ammo, right? So in
Mhm.
here, if we see a Hanzo and we are, or well, first off, I didn't even notice this, but we reload when we have 3 ammo and after we see Hanto, so make sure we're not reloading when we
Mhm.
could actively be shooting at somebody. And then
Mhm.
here, once we start reloading, if we wanted to like cancel this and just go faster and keep shooting immediately, we
Mhm.
could roll, and then that would allow us to, we could roll up next to Hanzo,
Mhm.
flashbang him, and then kill him off of that,
Damage.
right? Just all ways to secure the kill faster.
Practicing.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably didn't do that just because I wasn't expecting a Hanzo
hmm
like right there.
Yeah.
I was
Which is.
expecting to be where the Junkrat was.
hmm Which it's not nothing about like expecting it to happen, but it's more so the reaction to like
Mhm.
now it's happening, right? So like here we see it now it's happening, right? So it's happening now, and then after we see him, we make these that we reload after we see him, and we don't roll towards him after we see him, right? So it's
Yeah.
nothing about the expecting him to be there. It's more so about we see him and then we don't do anything, right? Which, it's very minor things there. We still secure the kill.
Practicing.
Pardon me.
Very nice shots.
The objective is now.
Don't move.
Yeah, very nice.
This one's. My ultimate is charging.
Alright. Do. So just right off the bat, positioning wise, I don't think we should be
Mhm.
on right side here. I think we should probably be on left side, as this is going to mean that from left side first off, like we can think, okay, the 3 places they can come from. They can come from right, they can come from left, they can come through main, right? So if we
Mhm.
were to hold, we can do this kind of thought process in our head, right? Main probably that we could come up with our head is like, where are the likelihoods of where they come from? Probably they're most likely there's like a 60% chance they come through here, right? Maybe
Mhm.
like a 30% chance they come through here, and like a 10% chance they come through bottom, right?
Mhm.
So we can already say that it's most likely they're coming through the top, right? Or right off the bat, right? Secondly, we can
Mhm.
think, okay, if we're positioning ourselves over here, right, we can defend from the top, or if they go right side, we can rotate and still shoot at them from the top over here, and if they go below us, we can still shoot at them from over here. But if
Mhm.
we are, below, we can't see it either besides the bottom, so that'd be terrible. But then if we were right side, right, well now we
Mhm.
can't I guess we can see main, we can see right side, though we don't really, if they do come right side, we're kind of screwed because we don't really have much of a place to run, right? Like
Mhm.
if they were to run at us right side, like what are we gonna do? Just like back up straight down this pathway where there's no cover at all, right? Or
Mhm.
what? We're gonna drop the point and then be out in the open, right? We don't really
Mhm.
have anywhere to, or we're gonna back up this way out in the open again, right? So we don't really have anywhere to back up to, and then we also can't really see top left as easily as top left can see top right because we have a high ground advantage over here. So overall, be over be over top left, right?
Mhm.
Not top right, right? Because we get in some nice spam damage, but it's like, from far away, so we're getting less damage.
Oh there.
Okay. Do we ever discuss on McCree when to left click versus right click?
I think we did, but I think it was just kind of just quickly run through.
Yeah, okay, so um, as I guess we'll go over that in a minute. We'll see if there's anything else we can go over with it when we leave, but might not be. So
Thank you kindly.
we'll maybe go over it.
I'm under attack.
Group up here.
Okay, so we can hear them going below us. Yep. Okay. Good audio awareness, right? So that right there is awareness, right?
Hmm.
That's audio awareness. That's paying attention and being aware of our sound. And there we just had good audio awareness, right?
Hmm.
There they are.
It's high noon.
Okay. So
Feel like a
good
man
high
possessed.
noon on
Don't
him.
move.
Uh-oh. So yeah,
It's
we'll
high
just talk about it
noon.
now. So we're at 2 minutes. We'll talk about when to left click versus right click. So
Okay.
let's discuss it. So, oh, wrong character. So when to left click versus right click. So
Justice ain't
you
gonna
essentially
dispense
the basics
itself.
is you left click when you can see heads and when you are prepared for it, and you right click when you cannot see heads and when you're not prepared for it. That's the rough basics, right? So what does that mean? Well, first off, you want to left click if at all possible, because when you left click, you're going to be able to secure kills and then immediately continue to keep shooting for the rest of your ammo. Whereas if
Hmm.
you were to right click, well, now you have this entire duration where you're stuck and without able to be shooting, right? So it essentially is efficient, more efficient, and you're gonna be able to shoot faster. Right, the other thing, right, is gonna be if we don't have a full ammo, right, like we don't have max ammo on us, right, on a character, let's say like we have a Zarya, like this just happened in our game, right? We had 2 bullets left and we tried to right click. If we were to
Hold
oh,
up
I
now.
missed that shot, right? But if we let's reset that. Right, if we were to flash, let's see how many headshots it takes to kill, right? 1, 2, right. So flash,
Whoa
headshot,
there.
headshot, headshot, right? So 3 shots to headshot.
Hmm.
Now, if we were to have that same amount of shots, right, and we were to flash right click, that's how much damage we're doing. Right, so
Yeah.
we would be nowhere close to finishing her off. So
Gotcha.
left click, if at all possible, is what you want to be doing. Right now, some characters you can do this. You know, so when we're coming from the front, we want a headshot, right? But you know, in Zarya, we can headshot from behind, right, just as easily from the front. But there's some characters that aren't like that, right? Like Reinhardt, for example, right? Well, we can see him from the front, but from the side, behind, and from this side, right, we can't really see his head very well at all. Right, so from
Hmm.
those angles, it'd be better that you right click than left click because you can't hit headshots, right? Or Wrecking Ball when he's in his ball form. Now, you can also right click when you're like right up next to somebody, like because it might be hard to flick up to their head. Or another time is when you're not prepared for the flashbang, right? So let's say, you know, here we're ready for the flash, we're prepared for it, we're premeditating it. So when we come out, we can already be ready for it.
Now,
We can
hold
get in the
on.
shot beforehand, and we're already aiming at head level. We're kind of prepared for it, right? So we can hit headshots very easily. But if someone were to sneak up behind us, we have to do a quick turn around, right? We might not be able to hit that headshot because we're not expecting it, right? So it might just be better to right click if we're unprepared, right? So that's the
Hmm.
difference between the two, and so far we've only seen right clicks, and in probably both cases it was wrong, and in this last case it actually meant that we weren't able to secure any damage or a kill on them.
Okay.
Now traveling to Busan. Ready for battle.
It's high
And so here
noon.
we shoot, flash,
Don't move.
right click with 3 bullets, and it doesn't do anything, right?
I'm taking care of
Okay,
Who's got the
noting
hot
as well
hand?
that we accidentally rolled off high ground, which is not very good.
Overloaded.
Oh, excuse me.
Taking heavy fire. Understood.
Understood.
Very nice.
One. Game on.
Don't move.
Very, very good high noon angle. Very, very nice.
Suiting up.
Hold up now.
Okay, so like right there, that would be a you know, headshots would be much more efficient there.
Hmm.
This is not your time.
Meteor
Take
strike.
cover. Heroes never die.
Easy.
All right. Honestly, very well played round. I'd probably say the biggest mistake was holding right side with positioning, but besides that, lots of good plays.
Okay.
We got a lot of good kills in there too.
Shield hostage.
So I guess quick question for that map was because they had a Doomfist. I mean, should I kind of hold somewhat of an off angle? Not like as far as I was, but like, should I play somewhat of a distant like off angle in case he dives my squishies and stuff? Or
If I guess explain your thought process because you can usually help. This is how the types of questions that you can be asking yourself, and if you think through the question logically, right? So
Mhm.
if you were to play on an off angle, how would that allow? What would that do to allow you to help your supports who are being dove?
I feel like it can kind of create like different angles we can get maybe the Doomfist from. Like that way he doesn't have a quick. He right clicks on like left side and then he can use his E and be safe on
Okay,
the right
are
side
you
if like
gonna
I'm there.
are you going to be able to flashbang him if you're off at an off angle?
Uh, Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Is that not McCree's biggest, threat to Doomfist?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we probably would be much better off, in fact, if we were sticking closer to our team than further away from them, because that means that we, can't get dove by Doomfist ourselves, right? Because if Doomfist were to, when we go away from our team, right, that means
Hmm.
that we can't help them and they can't help us, right? So if Doomfist were to dive us and we missed Flashbang, well, now we can't get support nearly as easily as if we were like right on top of them, right? Whereas if we play on top of them, now they get Flashbang and we also get healing, right? So it's a win-win on both ends. So
Okay.
when you're up against flankers, it kind of scales up more and more. Your team composition dictates playstyle. You play differently against different comps. When they're on
Mhm.
just a couple flankers, like maybe they're on a Doomfist or maybe a Tracer and a Doomfist, we're going to be playing more with our team, just a little bit more with our team, right? We're not going to go on off angles
Mhm.
as much. When they are on a full dive, right? They're on an entire dive comp. Well, we're playing with their team basically all the time, right? Because what do we need to off angle for if they don't really have shields to off angle on, right? And what are we going to
Mhm.
off angle? Why would we walk off on our own when that's going to make us more likely to get killed and mean that we can't help our teammates, right? So team
Mhm.
composition changes based off how you're playing, right? When you're playing up against a brawl composition where they can't get on top of you instantly, right? You might be flanking and going on off angles more so than you would be if they're on a full dive, right?
Mhm.
I need a doctor.
Okay. Here,
I need a doctor.
I don't know why we're not. First off, we didn't line up our crosshair with it correctly. Secondly, I don't know why we wouldn't try to continue to take out turret there, right? When it's just, very easy to do. All you have to do. Are you familiar with I guess
Like kind of
I don't
like
even know.
peeking
Yeah,
or
peak
how would you
shooting.
say?
That's the word. The term for it is peak shots, right? Where you stand on a corner, you line up your crosshair with it, you go peek shoot, peek shoot, peek shoot,
Mhm.
right? This basically means the turret does not have enough time to lock onto you and shoot at you, right? And you get to shoot it for free, right? And it
Mhm.
means that you get to use cover the whole time. So probably no reason why we couldn't do that there.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Take him before. Who's with me?
You're making
Very nice. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. Have we talked about team playing stupid before?
Probably have.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, if we have, if not, right? If basically if one person's playing stupid, that's called feeding, right? When
Mhm.
six people are playing or when six people are being stupid, that's
It's a
called a
strategy.
strategy, right?
Yeah.
So here, right, whole team is pushed forwards. You're the only person who's not
Mhm.
pushed forwards, right?
Mhm.
Therefore, these guys are fighting already, and we're
Mhm.
not fighting. Therefore, we are the one person out of our entire team who's in the wrong at the moment.
Mhm.
Right? And then now, because we're so far back, we're not able to do anything, and then we end up pretty much losing the fight before we have any impact, right? We lose our Reinhardt. I guess not lose the fight. Oh yeah, we lost our Brig, right? Lost our Ryan and our Brig, and essentially we lose the fight before we're able to do anything because we weren't there participating. So pay attention to what your team's
Yeah.
up to. Go forwards and help out if you need to.
now show them. Enemy turret
Have we talked about McCree and his range yet?
I don't think we did
All right.
last time.
So we're at 5 minutes. Let's go over that real quick. So McCree is a close to mid-ranged character, right? Mostly
Mhm.
mid-range, right?
Justice ain't
Now,
gonna dispense
especially, and this
itself.
applied beforehand, but it's especially important now because they just nerfed him, right? And most
Mhm.
other hit scans with range, right? So McCree, right, does not prefer, like with his preferred range, right, does not prefer to be right here because there's other characters who do right here better than him, right? Think
Mhm.
Junkrat, Doomfist, May, right? Reaper, right? All these characters do better. Reinhardt, right? All do better close range than he does, right? And so therefore, he
Mhm.
doesn't like to play there, right? He likes to play here because he can flashbang
Now,
from this
hold
range,
on.
right?
No
So
payment
starting
required.
range is
This one's
10
on the
meters,
house.
right? Of where he prefers to be, right?
Yep.
Now, when we're right here, we can do 1, 2, 3 shot kill. When we back up just a couple more inches, now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 shot kill, right? That's fall off damage. The further away we are, the less damage we do. When we
Yeah.
back up to 30 meters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, now that's adding up. That's a whole lot more, right? We back up all the way back here, and now we're doing 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? That's a heck of a lot of shots to kill somebody, and on top of that, you also have to remember that the further away somebody is, the less accurate you're going to be because they're a smaller target, so you're going to be missing a lot more shots as well. You're not going to be hitting all 10 of those, right?
Mhm.
So when they're that tiny, they're a lot harder to hit when they're right here. So preferred range is 10 meters to maybe capping out around 30 meters is your preference, right? Now, if you need to, you can be further, right? Like if you're walking into a fight or you're backing out of the fight, or something of that sort, or you were forced to be at a range, or you're going for high noon, all that's fine, right? But you prefer whenever possible to be within this range. That's not to say you never step within close range, but you do
Mhm.
situationally when the situation calls for it, right? But this is
Yeah.
our preferred range, and so far, we've mostly been playing too far away, right? Our positioning has looked probably more so like this for the majority of our gameplay so far, right? Where we played
Okay.
way too far back. Right, so we want to make sure we're closer, therefore we do more damage and are more accurate.
Now traveling to
I think you said it was
ready
like
for
5 minutes.
battle.
I think
Mhm.
where you left off.
Now show them. Enemy turret ahead. Get them off.
Feel like a man possessed.
Echo here.
Enemies over there. I'm under fire.
وريهم قوتك.
Heroes never die.
Alright, so let's rewatch this fight.
Mhm.
Yeah. First off, noting the range in which we're putting ourselves from people, right?
Mhm.
This right here, right, up against Reinhardt, right, is probably like 30 meters. So we are, and then on Torbjorn would be like 35, 40, right? So here we are probably too far away when we probably want to be closer, when we could be closer very easily by pushing up to this cover or this
Mhm.
cover right here. Right? We have a lot of cover, and we have our team over here, right? A lot of places where we could get a lot closer to do a lot more things.
Heroes never die.
Okay. On top of that, noting that we swap targets like, 5 times here. Right, so we come in, we initially start shooting at Torbjorn, right, we Reinhardt, so we'll just call it the targets. Reinhardt,
Mhm.
then, oh, sorry, it was earlier that we shot at Torbjorn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's
I
here,
can
okay,
get right there.
so Torbjorn, right, then Reinhardt, and then
وريهم قوتك.
back to Reinhardt, okay, then we're gonna swap, and we're gonna go BAP, then we're gonna go, or sorry, McCree, then BAP, then Ryan, then Anna, okay, then back to BAP, and then dead, right? So, and then since we swap from person to person to person to person, right? Have we've discussed that already, right? I think maybe no.
Oh, we might have.
Might
I
have.
can't remember.
So as a reminder, right? When we swap from person to person to person to person, means we never actually
Mm,
kill anybody. We just do tickle damage, right? And then they are
mm,
able to heal it up, and no one dies, right? But when we focus all that damage on one person, they die, right? And we actually don't let them get away. So we want to make sure we're not swapping from target to target to target to target, right? We swap if needed, otherwise stay in one thing, right?
Dead eyes ready. I hear you.
Yeah, I think right here they had called for me to do a flank noon.
It's high noon.
There.
Good job.
Rally to me!
And take out the turret real quick. There we're just not. There's awareness, right? This is an awareness thing right here.
Okay.
One of the only we've seen so far. So we see turrets there, right?
Mhm.
And we see Torbjorn's up there, and he's now looking at us, and we can turret standing still. Probably just get turret out of the way, right? Like make sure it's not in the fight. Okay. Another instance where it's premeditated. We can see his head. Go for the head.
Okay.
Good
Who's
shots.
got the hot hand?
Right. Mechanics looking
Form up
fairly
here.
solid. Which last time we said I had put that mechanics is number 1. Did we? I'm trying to think. So last time we had a lot of mechanics things apparently. So I'm just like so far it's looking mechanics are looking better.
I think some of that too was the Junkrat, I think.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what that could be. Did you ever end up was lowering your sensitivity something that you did?
Yeah, I made sure I did that for McCree. I
Mm-hmm.
ended up having to turn it up like just one or two things up in the
Mm-hmm.
sensitivity just because I could not like quickly like go from like 90 degrees to the left enough to like kill like a tracer in like a 1v1
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. It's like I had to bump it up to I think 8 sensitivity, I
Yeah, so
think.
you need at a very minimum the ability to do a 180 for with
Mhm.
with basically the stretch of your whole mouse pad. Though if preferable, you should with your entire mouse pad be able to do a 360, right, from left
Mhm.
to right, and then that means that from starting from the middle you can do a 180 in either direction, right? Um, that
Let's see,
is
I just
kind of.
checked it and it's actually at
Mm-hmm.
7. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I have it at right now.
Yeah, so we seem to be doing a little bit better with mechanics. So there's still things like we just talked about with like making sure we're not
Mhm.
swapping randomly, and then just practicing our regular shots. But for the most part,
Not
we've been
lining
doing
up
some.
heads and stuff too, yeah.
Don't worry, my friends. I have your I need healing.
I there make sure we're 80 strafing instead of just walking backwards and standing
Mhm.
still.
I need healing. Easy.
Heroes never die.
Don't move. Easy.
We still need you.
Oh, we turned away from the fight with the McCree when he was like
Mhm.
when we were both like 1 HP. Probably not the time to be turning away from your duel with
Mhm.
him, right? Like he's 1 HP here, you're
Mhm.
low, right? Why would we look at other people to shoot at other people when he's gonna turn that corner? If he hits the shot here, if he hit a headshot there, or if he hits a
Mhm.
second shot or a flashbang or whatever, we're dead, right? And
Mhm.
same thing with him, right? Here we could have killed him. So
Mhm.
here we just kind of look away for some
Pardon
reason.
me.
I've got you.
Okay. Probably most of the time we're not gonna want to go for right clicks. Just
Yeah.
normally, not you can do it in the shields and when you flashbang people. Most of the time you're not gonna want to just like right click
Mhm.
randomly like that. Better to go for left clicks. And we also probably would say don't like. They could have very easily pushed us there. Oh, I guess they're about to cap, so they had to run the point.
Enemy turret here.
Moira by your side.
Much better.
Mhm.
So yeah, right here is another flank noon they were calling for me to do
Yeah.
since they didn't kill me after they slept.
Probably go for it from top left, to be honest, right? Like, look at this angle right here,
Mhm.
right? McCree, get McCree,
Mhm.
you know, Torbjorn, maybe some of the supports if they move a couple inches to the side, right? Lucio, Tree Torb, Ryan, right? Here, I think this is okay. I don't think it's bad by any means, this flanker.
And then Anna
Though,
must have heard me for
though
like
we,
a split second.
yeah, though we do a slow turn here,
Mhm.
right? So first off, so this is, we talked about cross replacement last time, right?
Yeah.
So this is aiming where we know people are going to be, right?
Mhm.
So when we turn this corner, first off, we can hear the on over there, but secondly, like, look at the slow turn, right? Where we slowly turn to the left, right? Whereas,
Mhm.
why not come around this corner, right?
Mhm.
Already with our camera looking this direction, right? We can still see everything to the right, but now when we
Mhm.
turn this corner, we're already looking straight at Anna, right?
Mhm.
So it's camera angles right there, right? Why are we looking? Why are we slowly panning, right?
And right there, I just used it a second too early. Otherwise, I think I could have had like 3 of them there.
Mm, I think you were fine because you would have died anyways. You're like 1 HP, so it's better to just go with what you got. Right? Like we wait like an extra 2 seconds and we're dead there. And Torbjorn's about to get around the corner anyway. So honestly, we see like we die a second later, right after behind you anyway. So I think letting go there is fine.
It is not my
Probably
preference.
just say
Ready
top
for
left would have
battle.
been good, and then we messed up with the Ana thing.
Enemy spotted! Teleporter online. We move swiftly.
Oh there.
The objective is now
This will heal you.
Okay. Couple things, right? So first off, right, maybe consider taking like an off angle, right?
Mhm.
Or like a more of a flanky thing, right? On their team, if you were to do something like this, right, and come over here, who's gonna
Mhm.
contest you? Maybe you can get shot
Mhm.
at and you just take some
Yeah.
damage, but we have cover we can use, and
Mhm.
on top of that, maybe Lucy can come after us, but we have flashbang, right? Like, I probably say that no one
Yeah.
can get to you instantly here, right? This gets you around the shields, means that you don't worry about getting through 2 shields, right? So here,
Mhm.
probably say go for the off angle, right? Now, on top of that, looking back at our gameplay, we also take this random pause, right, where we shoot, then we pause, then we pause, then we pause, and then we shoot again, right? So it's just the random like 3-second pause, where we probably
Mhm.
could have been shooting at the McCree there, right? In that instance, probably could just be shooting at McCree. Remember that when you're right-clicking, you have to
Mhm.
track people, right? Because you're shooting multiple shots all at once. So you can't just
Mhm.
aim as if you're hitting one single shot. You have to continue to stay on said person. So both times
Mhm.
when we right-click here, we don't really stay on the person, right? So here, when we right-click on the Reinhardt, we right-click, but then he moves to the side and the next 2 bolts go off of him, right? And then we right-click again, but he moves to the right and we're not tracking with him, right? So making sure we're
Mhm.
tracking with him, right? Because we end up missing a lot of bullets between those two.
Oh there.
Probably would not run out a nanoed Reinhardt even if you're right-clicking.
Mhm.
Get into position.
Or sorry, even if you're flashbanging him. Watch the jumping. I think that's something we've talked about. Just spam jumping.
Hold up.
And then also just kind of backed off into open area when we maybe could have backed up, you know, in this direction towards cover, this direction towards cover, this direction towards cover. Instead, we back up towards this area where there's absolutely no cover at all, right?
Mm.
The power of destruction.
Reality
When we were right here, we were calling, I think, to send TP behind them. I think that's what we were gonna do, and I was gonna maybe.
Probably would go for a flank high noon, right? Instead of
Mhm.
going for high noon from here. Well, let's
Mhm.
see. Or we could maybe have charged up a high noon and then like TP'd through to get a
Mhm.
bit different angle. Possibly
Yeah,
is another idea. But let's, you know, we've talked about off angling before. Yeah, I would assume.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially
so
with my Junkrat. Yeah, we've
mm,
talked about off
yep. So we
angling.
talked about off angling, right? Same thing on McCree, right? If we were to try to shoot from here, all we're acquiring are tanks and shields, and they block like they have a double shield, right? How are you gonna get a high noon off when they have a Orisa shield and a Reinhardt shield in front of your face, right? Or even a Sim shield here, right? Whereas
Mhm.
let's say we're on an angle like this, well now that becomes a lot easier because we can just get both their DPS free, right?
Mhm.
Or if we did a super long flank, we get like here, right, and be able to get everybody, right? So
Mhm.
those types of ideas, right? We had a ton of time where we were just kind of sitting there, probably could be using that time to rotate.
Thank you kindly. It's Oh, excuse me. Only through.
My teleporter is online.
Cease your resistance.
Yep. So that's it. So positioning and
Mhm.
what not getting value out of our ultimates, whiffing
Right.
shots, not participating
And
in fights, right? All
probably,
that type of jazz. So
you
let's
know,
hop into the other one.
and then probably crosshair placement, I imagine too.
Yeah, crosshair placement still needs some work. I'd probably say particularly, I mean, pretty much both of them. I wouldn't say it's atrocious as of the moment, but making sure we're aiming
Mhm.
head level more, and then also making sure we're keeping, you know, we're aiming where we know people are going to be, like the thing we talked about with the Ana, right? Type of
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah.
Um, jitter, you know, to peeking the kill a torp turret type of thing as well.
Mhm.
Now entering the temple ready for battle.
I need healing.
Alright, so I'll introduce you my favorite thing to do on this map that almost always works. So,
Mhm.
let's see, this do stuff at this rank?
3,
um,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
If I
okay,
would have had a mercy pocket, I could have gotten a little more. I'll
yeah.
charge, but.
So
Objective A.
this stops working once you get to a higher rank.
Mhm.
Like people just don't take damage at all. I like
Mhm.
if you were to do this at like 43, just on this map in particular, because
Mhm.
everybody expects a Junkrat, and it's also a very wide open area for that they can just dodge it. But in any case, right, you can go for this just fine. But the strat on this map is you place trap
Mhm.
right here in this
Mhm.
tiny little corner because you can. It's basically most people are gonna go left, right, and if they're coming up
Mhm.
from the left, which a lot of them are, right, if they're coming up from the left, they can't really see it because it's around the corner. If they come from the right, again, it's kind of like snug in the corner to where they can't really see it too easily. You place a mine on top of it, you go for the shots, and then what you do, instead of backing up this way, you back
Mhm.
up this way. And what you do is
Mhm.
you just wait in this room. You wait, you wait, you wait, you listen. Once you hear, and maybe you can peek every once in a while, right? And once
Mhm.
they get close, or you get a trap or something, they're about to come in left room because they probably, I'd say, like 8 times out of 10, their first attempt is left room, right?
Mhm.
So they try to come left room, you just start spamming down that doorway, gets a kill almost every time, and I've had games where I get like 2 or 3 out of that, right? And it's very low risk because you still have 2 mines on you that you can use to get out that way, that you can use to get out this way. You have a health pack this way, you have your team this way, right? And then you're also spamming on this, so it's not like their whole team can just sprint at you. So you have a very low risk, very high chance of getting kills. That's what you want to do most of the time on this map.
Okay.
Yeah, we also don't have trap place at all. And we do a long rotation around this way. If you were even to hold up top here, you'd want 1 mine to get you, instead of throwing it in for spam, you want 1 mine to get back up to high ground. That way you can still spam them while they're running in instead of doing that really long rotation, right? So again, noting that so far I've not I've basically yet to see you use mines for mobility, whereas that's what you use mines for a ton of the time, right? And that using the mine for mobility there would be getting you like probably like 4 times more value because you'd be able to spam them while they're running through the choke there.
Okay.
Get a little bit closer. No reason to be this far back, right? Like it's don't be scared. We've already discussed why you want to be closer in Junkrat, but we're trying to snipe here when there's no reason to snipe. When we have our entire team pushed up here, you probably want to be pushed up here too. This way you can maybe, for example, mine up and stand. You can stand, by the way, just in case you weren't aware, you can stand up here, right? So
Yeah.
you can mine up here, place a trap in, shoot from above, or you can shoot, get better angles and actually intentionally aim your shots and try to hit particular people instead of just spamming in, right? And you can also here we only can literally only shoot through this one area, right? And that's it. Whereas if we are here, we can rotate left and right and have much wider a range, and whatnot, right? So just be closer, right? We've already discussed this on Junkrat, so you get the idea. We also still where's trap? I don't think I
It's on
can
the
see
stairs right there, to my left. Yeah, right
okay.
there.
When there's somebody there, probably just place it on yourself, right? There's nobody left side, so probably want it in there doing things.
Now we're cooking with
Yeah, we see Doomfist. That's good.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Oh, almost.
Beacon stream engaged.
I messed up that mine. Otherwise, I would have had him.
Very nice. Alright, now we're looking for our ultimate, right? So with our ultimate, probably the best thing, I think we talked about being sneaky is a big thing with our ultimate. Right? Probably the best thing we could be doing with our ultimate here is we could be going right. We want it to come in through the top windows because it's very unpredictable, right? So we can either just come right side here and sit in this corner up top here and tire and toss it in through the top, right? Through the window. Or we can, if we have the time to, we can go up here where Hans is at and
Just drop it on him.
just drop it on top of them, right? Are the easiest things to do here. Now, if we don't have time to set up there as well, we can just sit in the corner here and tire and climb the wall too, right? And then if you need to, you can just ride through on this side and then boom, right? Easiest things to do here to get kills. Multiple times we haven't. This is again a more awareness things, right? Where we don't seem to be paying attention to where people actually are, because last time we were spamming the choke when nobody was at choke anymore, and then this time we spam the choke when nobody's at choke anymore. We can see that where our entire team is particularly, I'd probably say the biggest thing here is we saw a couple people, right, like hogs peeking out here, and we see hogs there. We see nobody at choke, right, because we can assume, well, their entire team's alive, so why, where are they, right? We see our whole team's running right side to hold right side. We maybe can hear people doing things. We can see Moira shooting dust out there, and yet we're still spamming down main, right? Like why are we spamming down main when there's nobody main? Right, type of idea. Okay, here we're not setting up for tire at all.
The hunter lays a
We're
traveler's
trapping for
prey.
absolutely nobody because nobody's going left side.
Oh, just leave this here. Fire in the hole.
tiring way too early.
Mm.
Right. Currently, the fight's not happening. Right. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus, or 4.5 versus like a 1, 2, 3. These
Mm.
guys aren't even. They're walking back from spawn. They're walking back from spawn. Right. Doomfist is half. Nobody's grouped up, so Tyre wouldn't even get more than 1 kill. Right.
Mm.
So in this instance, probably not a good time to tire. Too early. Nobody's grouped. You want to make sure when we're tiring that people are grouped up. Right. So didn't use it last fight, which is not great. And then we also get 1 kill out of it when maybe we could have just mined them normally.
Mm.
Now we're talking.
And again, more
Mm.
awareness of if they were coming left side, we would see them left side. We would see other teammates shooting them. We could hear them. Yet
Mm.
we know that none of them are there because we don't have any indication that they're there. And then
Mm.
therefore we waste a mine and we're wasting time and we're wasting shots and energy because no one's there, right? And we've done that multiple times, all right? Where we're shooting and absolutely nobody's anywhere close to there.
I'm coming for you all.
You'll like this one.
And we still kind of been sniping all game. Very nice.
Heroes never die.
I heard Hanzo on my right. Or I heard someone I think going up top. Or I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know why I paused there. I must have heard something.
we heard the Hanzo, but he just walked. We knew Hanzo was there, but he just wall climbed up to our side,
Mm.
right? Which we can hear, so I'm paying attention to our audio cues because he just wall climbs up here, and that's if we were listening to that, we would be able to just sit here and turn the corner and just one tap him, right, or one tap
Mm.
melee or something like that, right, and he'd be dead.
Oh, this is
Okay, missing shots.
you. Oh, that's a good spot.
Yep.
And
Very
right there,
nice.
I like. So yeah, my plan was right there was when I dropped out, I backed up in a room. I was hoping I could get 2 nade lands and get Tire, and just quickly pop it in there.
Mhm.
That was why I dropped there.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. To be dropping Tire, I would say is slightly iffy on if you want to use Tire because they have a pretty big advantage in this situation. Because let's see, so we've talked about how to know whether a fight's won or lost, right?
Mm.
Yeah, have we talked about the intricacies and like all the other things that go into that? That besides just kills?
Mm. Probably all things like spawn advantage
Yeah,
and things
so
like that.
yeah. So, exactly, right? Those type of things. So we can analyze the situation and go, okay, well, who's at an advantage, right? Well, right now, if we were
Mm.
still alive, it would be a 1, 2, 3.5 versus a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm.
right? So it would be currently it'd be a 3.5 versus 5, right? Baby Diva counts as half, so that's
Mm.
already down to significantly down to where it'd be like, do we want to try it? Maybe, maybe not.
Mm.
Second thing we look at is health bars. Well, we weren't high on HP just a second ago,
Mm.
right? We can
Yeah.
also look at spawns. Well, they have close spawns here. We can also look at positioning. Well, they have point advantage, and that we have to run to point in a moment, right? So overall, probably say we're at all the disadvantages and probably very highly likely we lose that, so probably wouldn't go for an ultimate even if we got it in time.
The hunter lays a trap for his prey.
New defense point. Objective B.
Okay.
Watch your step. You'll like this one.
Very nice.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah, messed that up.
Meteor strike. Crusaders.
I need to recharge. Allow me to repair the damage.
Well, that's a good spot.
Okay. That trap is not worth it to go off to the right side. Why? Because we can be getting a lot more value if we're spamming them while they're trying to run in. So positioning of where should we be positioning here? So first off, probably say start off up here, right? Because we can spam them the entire time while they're trying to run in, right? Here they do have things that can contest you. They have Echo, they have Doomfist, right? So when they get closer, we're going to drop, but we're not going to drop and like, go back to point or whatever. We're going to drop and we're going to come over here and stand up here. Because now we can spam, if they go left side, we can spam left side. Again, we have mines for escape if we need to. We have trap that we can place over here, right? So if they go left side, we can spam them super easily. If they go main, right? We can spam them super easily. Mines, we can mine back at the high ground, whatever, right? They go right side, we can spam them super easily, right? As they're running through. Right, we can rotate if they rotate towards us. We have high ground positioning here, and we have cover we can use, right? They go left side, boom, cover. Right side, boom, cover. Echo jumps at us, mine away, right? Type of deal. So that's where we want to be positioning in this type of instance. Now, some alternative positioning point wouldn't be too terrible because we can pretty much do similar things from here. It just might not be as great of angles. It'd be safer, but it wouldn't be, you'd be getting slightly less value. High ground also wouldn't be too terrible either. But again, it just puts you pretty far away from the fight. So different options. Probably say back right is the worst place we can be. Right from here, we can't see right side. We can't shoot them when they come right side. We can't shoot them too well when they come left side. We can't shoot them too well when they come main. From here, we have probably the worst positioning out of anywhere we've just discussed.
Okay.
And we keep running back into that room like we're expecting them to go there. And then, when you could just, see when they go right side. Like if we're sitting main, we can see when they're going right side, right? Like we see where like they're right, so there's no way they can go right side without us knowing that they're right side, and therefore there's no reason to keep going back into that room.
Okay.
Like we do it again, right? Like it's like 4 times that we do that. Oh.
I'm coming for you all.
Get into position. Double.
I just missed it there on that echo.
Now we're looking for a tire. Probably best place to be with this would be just sitting up here in the corner, right? Only person we'd have to worry about is Echo. Place trap up here so if Echo comes up, you get her. They come main, they go left, they go right. We can tire from above. Another techie thing you can do is you can have tire. Have you seen the tech where you can have tire drop like straight to the like spawn on the floor, right?
Yeah, if you're on like the very edge of like a ledge or whatever.
Yep, that's a tech we can do here, right?
Oh, this'll be
So this is okay. Just probably say slightly less superior to being on the high ground because it just means that a lot more people can actually contest us and kill us very easily.
fire in the hole!
Awareness, especially like just listening. Because here, if there were if there were like a bunch of people over here, we would hear that, right? So I don't know if we've talked about this before, but audio awareness, turn up your volume, turn down music volume. I think we went over this, right? Do you have surround sound on?
I don't think I have surround sound on, but I mean, I do have my sound settings pretty high. Although I that does mean too. I do have Discord up pretty high. I might have to turn people down.
Okay.
Maybe.
Do you? So you say you do not have surround sound on? Do you know what surround sound does? Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I have a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably want that on because it gives you spatial audio. Right. It allows
Okay.
you to know what's going on around you. Right.
Okay.
To a better extent. So probably turn that on. This would be a very good idea. So
Mm-hmm.
here, if we know that people are, and we also just actively listen for footsteps, for gunshots, for ultimates, for abilities, right? Here, there's no reason to be tiring if it's just one person, right? And we can hear,
Mm-hmm.
bet mostly we can hear that, right? And we could just turn and kill them normally.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just move this here. Much better.
Come out and face me.
30 seconds remaining.
Quick, touch it! Don't let him down!
Stop me if you don't.
No, same positioning things we've been talking about.
Here we go. Watch your step.
Don't worry, my friends.
10 seconds remaining. Double overtime. Expedient.
I have found the enemy. Come and face me.
Group up with me. Don't move.
Okay. Make sure Reinhardt's taking space. We're taking space with him, so we're pushing
Mm-hmm.
forwards when he's pushing forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Then besides that, we do end up getting flash on him. I probably flash up higher because otherwise Reinhardt just blocks it. We can flash
Mm-hmm.
over his shield, so probably just be flashing more so above his head just in case he does shield, and then also just watching for his shield so he doesn't end up blocking or
Don't
flashbang.
move.
Mm-hmm.
All patched up. Hold on.
Okay. There, when we see Doomfist is charging it up, don't roll forwards, roll to the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
right?
I tried to roll to the side, but I realized the wall was right there, and I wasn't gonna go anywhere.
Right side. I like that roll.
Excuse me.
Meteor strike.
Are we going left side?
Well, that Ash had me pinned there, so I had to wait for my roll.
It's time. Raw.
Okay, make sure we are high nooning that we are ulting people, right? We want to make sure we're not just doing a blind high noon, but we're ulting when we know where people are, right? Like here, we high noon against one Reinhardt when we know that Reinhardt has a shield, right? Like what value are we going to get here besides potentially get ourselves killed and waste time, right? You know, really this high noon doesn't get us any value, right? On top of that, I'd maybe be getting myself up to maybe a position like here where I can see a bit more with high noon, especially if we know people are up on the high ground up there, right? With like Hog, might be able to kill Hog, so you can get up there by jumping on this guy and then this guy and then this guy. So just doing some parkour, right? Making our way up there might be better positioning than where we are currently.
It's time. Raw.
Objective must be ours.
I'm under attack.
Okay, missing the flashbang. Here, making sure that first off I would roll away from when you see him punching at you, roll away, right? So roll left, roll right. Top of that, don't try to, if we know he's moving in towards us, don't flash where he was, flash where you know he's going, right? So look down at your feet, and as he's about to hit you, you flash at the ground, and then that stuns him, right?
Let's up the tempo.
The wolf marks his prey.
An expedient solution. Surrender to my will.
Okay, make sure you're TPing in. That we're not just TPing in front of her, but we're trying to TP behind her. So here, that's just that. All that means is just TPing up an extra like inch, right? Because here, if we while we're looking here, that's where TP goes, right? TP just goes right there, right? If we look up higher, then it ends up going further, and then maybe it goes behind her, and she doesn't see it coming, right? But she sees it coming before we're standing there. On top of that, she's like 1 HP, and for some reason we're backing off, and maybe we should be pushing in to secure the kill, right? No reason to not secure that kill when we back off here.
Double kill.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Let's get you here.
Activating sequence. Repair the dust. Double kill. Double kill.
I'll show them.
Objectives in the flight.
Okay. So, oh snap! We forgot to do the end stuff. So real quick, let's wrap it up. I mean, you got your notes anyway, so you'll get most of this in notes. But real quick, just main points. Probably. Oh, I got to think through this real quick though. Ability usage was okay. Ultimate usage was okay. Positioning needed a lot of work on both characters. Awareness needed work, and then the mechanics need work. Okay, so probably say number 1 was positioning. Number 2 was awareness. Number 3 was your mechanics. Number 4 was your thinking probably ultimate usage, and then number 5 was your ability usage, right? Those were different orders, right? Sorry that I forgot that we had to do this end part here, but I mean, like I said, you'll get your notes, so that's most of what the end is anyways, right? And then that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop